Good mid-afternoon, everyone. T-Speak at 222 XRP Future Millionaire with the side bet on XLM and Future Digibet OG. So I do this sometimes. I'm going to do a commodities update, but also I'm going to give you an update on two that I am invested in, and I want you guys to take a serious look at and decide whether or not, because I'm not a financial advisor, so should you take my advice? No motherfucking way you should. But if you do, basing on what the charts are saying, and I'm going to show you exactly what's going on. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do a commodities update. I'm going to do just these two, and I'm invested in both, like I said. As a matter of fact, I invested in both of them today because of the parts of the pattern they're at. So with IDEX, you guys know I've been heavily involved with IDEX for a long time. It's come down to this heavy support area. Now, there is one, it can drop still to $1.67, so that's one thing we will have to watch. So if it falls outside this trend line and we break past $1.80, $1.83, and you can even go down to $1.76. But we've been holding this area. If you look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days we've been on this trend line. And if you look at it in the past, every time we pulled down, we pulled back up over this. So we've come down a long way. Some of us have made a lot of money on IDEX in this channel. But right now we're at the bottom of the trend line, and I told you guys I would update when we got back to the bottom of the trend line. So I bought my 1,330 shares at $1.89. So didn't get the bottom. I think the bottom was $1.84, but I waited for a few days to see if this trend line would hold, and so far so good. And we still look to have a long ways to go in this triangle. So I think we still got a nice shot of making a run up here and contending at least back with a top here. Even if we only top here at 216, where the old support resistance line was, roughly right there. I mean, you're talking 13%, but we had the $2.20 line that was support resistance for a long time. So it's actually a little higher. About 224, you can see it came down many times in this area. So even if we had a retrace there and got rejected, that's 17%. So that's what I'm looking for. And we've had a support area here, but we're not using that. That's just to show you in the past. We could, but then, you know, we'd have to come up and then it'd be essentially the same, but it would make it look fucked. So we've got resistance, then we've got some support, but then we got resistance back down to the support area. And if we came from the top, the difference how this would look in the daily, if you actually did come from here, it's not much different. This is just, I'm just trying to show you from a farther down perspective so you don't get caught up when it comes down here, because it's never popped up. This is much like XLM. So what I'm saying is, yes, I acknowledge this could be all the way back here. You could have your first support, resistance, and then you're consolidating, but you never come back up here. So I'm saying we have resistance 1, resistance, and you can even say this is support, resistance up here, and it pulled right back in, resistance, right? Resistance, and then now it's back on the support. So it's had a very strong trend, and although I don't think it's going to go back up to $3.30, I think it's possible that it comes up to the top of this trend line, at least come up to the top of here and get rejected. So I mean, you're talking 17 to 35% just on rejection, as long as we bounce past this point. But like I said, have a stop loss like I do, because if it breaks right here, and I know this would be quite the hold, but my logic, if it breaks this 180 and shows confluency that it's going down, you can sell and just buy back at $1.67. So even if you lose out a little bit, you can sell it, buy back at $1.67, and you'll have more shares than you started with anyhow. So it's no harm, no foul. But I mean, this has been a long road back down. So this is what I'm looking at with IDEX, Ideanomics. A lot of you guys know I love Ideanomics. It's they're in the EV, and there's just a lot of stuff going on. They have the Wave. They acquired the Wave charging stations and a whole bunch of other things. They have a fleet of their own vehicles, tractors, and all this other shit. You name electric vehicles, they have it. The second one is Sundial Growers. This is a cannabis company. And this, much like IDEX, you can take this out from a much longer area, but it's just going to confuse the shit out of everybody, because we had a big wick up there and we've never even come kind of close to hitting it. So I found support, resistance areas where it worked, and I've been watching it for months. And when I say months, I mean months. I made a lot of money on this company in the past. So this goes back to May, guys. So we had support on May 14th, resistance, June 3rd. Then we consolidated all the way back down, eventually hitting resistance way over here on September 27th, support October 7th, broke over this, but came back up to our old high, which if you came down from the top. So when you're looking at this, we broke out of our symmetrical triangle we've been riding, but it's tricky because if the top symmetrical comes into play, we actually are getting close to rejection. So that's what we have to see, but we've had strong volume spike. This is 2 days worth of riding this on the top side, which is completely bullish because it held that and used that up downtrending resistance as downtrending support now, which means now, even if we got stuck in this box, and this is the beauty of it, even if we get stuck in this box and we only come up to here, you're still talking 13% just to get rejected. But if it breaks out of here, we're going way up. And this is the time when this company becomes appealing, when it gets into this area all the time. I mean, it has very quick 2, 3, 4X's because the shorts get out of control and then they start pumping this company. Like I said, it's a cannabis company and this is way too cheap for it. So these are pretty good prices right now, 66 cents. I don't have a stop loss. I'm riding this, and if it were to break down, I would just sell it. But I'm not looking at a stop loss here. I'm looking more, because you could come down here and it could possibly come to 43 cents. There's a lot of areas. You could say 49.9, but where we had a bunch of, and I don't know why this bent, but where we've had a solid structure where this is support resistance is right here where we're at. And you can see how it reacts to that line. It always pops back up. So that's what we're looking at, guys. And this could be a huge possibility between IDOX and Sundial growers. So if you're interested, SNDL, I'll keep you updated, and IDEX. And obviously iBio, pharmaceutical company. This thing is so far down in its pattern. The only thing is this has a history of falling way. Oh, it actually fell right back down to its history. Wow, then. That's very interesting. So this is another company, guys, that is just going to go balls wild at some point. I rode this up from way back here at 88 cents, and I was one of these people who rode it up here a few years ago. Oh, no, that was this year. Where's the one? Oh, right here. I bought it like 88 cents right here, and then I rode it up to right here. And then I sold it, bought it back down here, rode it up a big part of this, sold it, and then rode these little spurts. But that's probably one of the companies I made the most money in the stock market on. And I always wait for it to come back to these levels. And now, guys, it's at this level. It's crazy. This is crazy. Now I have a dilemma. Do I keep Sundial or do I buy my beloved iBio? I love iBio. I have a love affliction with iBio and IDOX. I really do. I mean, if you did it like that, it kind of came under it. So that is kind of scary because that could signify that this is, in fact, going to come down to the bottom of the zone. So don't even pay attention to iBio yet. I want to wait for it to come down to 79 cents before I tell you guys to buy it. But IDOX, Sundial growers, those are two that I have a keen eye on. I'm invested in both. I have 1,330 shares of IDOX, and I have 4,500 shares of Sundial at 66 cents. Just for transparency, I think it was 6,588 when I bought it. So that's where we're at. That's where we're, no, 660. Actually, I think I bought it right about where it's at. I feel like it was 660 something. Could have been 6588, 6608, or 6588, something. Whatever it is, I'm probably down. So, but that's what we're looking at, guys. And if you look at the crypto market, you know, it's pretty interesting. But like I told you, I don't just trade crypto, but I only talk crypto unless I do these special updates. So this is some breaking news. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. Take into account my stop losses and also take into account what you're seeing on the pattern in front of you. I always tell you, buy support, sell resistance. We're at a support on the symmetrical triangles, or the bottom support on these patterns that we've met many times and bounced off of. So very tight stop losses if you do decide to get in these.